Everybody, this is Perch, and yes, it has been confirmed. Jon Kent, who is the new Superman at the moment as current Superman, older Superman, dad Superman, Kal-El, is off on his exploration in Warworld. Jon Kent will be doing some exploration of his own, and that is that he has officially been revealed as bisexual in Superman, the Jon Kent Superman. It's just going to get very confusing very quickly. I pity the normie fan that's coming into this, maybe interested in comics, and it's like, I want Superman. And it's like, all right, do you want older man Superman who's off in space, or his son Superman who was recently aged up into a 17-year-old? That's Superman. They're both called Superman. It's like, okay. Anyway, they are going forward with Jon Kent being, they're saying bisexual. In this case, it is something that was speculated. It is something that people called early on with just kind of a few clues. I think that, Bleeding Cool made the call early. Again, they were right. Credit due. They were correct. I was not willing to jump on based on a couple panels that seemed awkwardly written, because there's a lot of panels that are awkwardly written in comics today. And I think it's just going, that must mean he's gay, is kind of a little bit too quick. But that is where they were leading to. And sure enough, in issue number 5, we are having Jon Kent share his first kiss with new boyfriend Jay Nakamura, who is billed as a hacktivist who idolizes Lois Lane, which, the IGN's calling that. It's like he's a hacktivist who idolizes Lois Lane. I mean, you have just described 50% of the characters in DC Comics right now, since everybody is Lois Lane's biggest fan. Anyway, Lois helps the friend, and Jon helps him a little bit more with a kiss. And what cracks me up a little bit in this image is it feels very on the nose. You've got a orange and green shirt with arrows going both ways with Jay. Anyway, whatever you like. Even the shading on Jon Kent, you've got kind of almost a darker side and a lighter side in the costume. It's some good comedy. Anyway, I was surprised that they went down this path, certainly, for what may seem like a very boring, maybe very stupid reason. And it's that DC is landing right now the exploration of character Tim Drake. And Tim Drake is Robin, of course, and also is not exactly a unknown character. I mean, this is one of DC's bigger legacy characters. It's a character that has 30 years almost of continuity of backstory and comics. It's a major character in DC in its own right. And I did hear the argument earlier on. It's like, well, Tim Drake coming out was never going to get that much attention because there's already so many Robins that, it's like Robin's bisexual. Which Robin? I don't know. But is that solved that much with Jon? Because it's like, well, Superman's bisexual. Which Superman? I mean, I don't know that has necessarily solved anything particularly, but I would think that you have Tim Drake come out, and then that same week you start laying hints that Jon Kent is bisexual. And I mean, why would you run those storylines at exactly the same moment? Wouldn't that take away from what they were trying to do with Tim? It feels like extremely poor planning. And so that's why I'm a bit surprised that they're going down this direction with Jon. I would think that you'd want to put a real focus if you're wanting to kind of promote LGBTQ plus activities and kind of that we're going to do more to include representation. Wouldn't you want to really do a good job nailing it with Tim Drake to get that story out there and get a lot of good attention and have it kind of form before you're like, all right, we had him come out, now quick, let's do somebody else. It just sound weird. These are all fictional characters. I feel bad for Tim Drake in this situation because nobody would care. Even in IGN's article, they talk to Tom Taylor and they go through this whole thing about legacy and everything else, and they don't even mention Tim Drake. Like that character is that we're done. We're moving on. They talk about DC taking a major step forward, but this article doesn't it doesn't mention the other major characters. That's just surprising and weird to me that DC would choose to. I just kind of do everything all at once to some extent. But that aside, okay. So what is the what is the outcome of this? Well, Tom Taylor says in the interview, over the years in the industry, it probably won't surprise you to hear that I've had queer characters and storylines rejected. I felt like I was letting down people I loved every time this happened. But we're in a very different and much more welcome place today than we were 10 or even 5 years ago. And when I was asked if I wanted to write a new Superman with a new number one for DC Universe, I knew replacing Clark with another straight white savior could be a real opportunity missed. I've always said everyone needs heroes and everyone deserves to see themselves in heroes. Today, Superman, the strongest superhero on the planet, is coming out. I do take issue a little bit. I knew replacing Clark with another straight white savior. So we were replacing Clark with a another bisexual white savior. Well, whatever. Okay, it is a pretty big deal doing it with Jon Kent as Superman. That's an awkward way of saying that. Adds artist John Timms. As we have seen John grow up in front of our eyes, it will be interesting to see him not only trying to find himself as a person, but a global superhero in the complex atmosphere of modern life. On the other hand, I hope this kind of thing will not be seen as a big deal in the future. You could visualize, well, it won't be because you're going to work your way through all the characters, and then it won't be a big deal because there won't be any other characters to have come out. Anyway, you can visualize how it could pan in the future when the most powerful man in the world is part of the LGBT community. So many things are on the horizon and beyond. So there you go. This is certainly pushing forward with the relationship of Jay Nakamura. Again, it's odd. They don't necessarily go out of their way to say bisexual, but way down, Taylor does say John and Jay are very different people. What I will say is Harley was the first character I was able to write as openly bisexual. Through our own universe of injustice, we were able to tell stories and show relationships that maybe weren't being depicted elsewhere at that time. And I was honored to have the chance to write the marriage of Harley and Poison Ivy last year in Injustice Year Zero. Last year? Is that last year was the marriage in Injustice? Oh, okay. Relationships in Harley's love life are always a crazy ride. So we more into some of the other characters. It is kind of surprising to me where they're not having him just come out as gay. I don't know. Uh, it doesn't actually go into depth about whether he's gay or bisexual. I mean, Tim Drake, in that they go out of their way to say he's exploring kind of this aspect of his personality, of his sexuality, and bisexual is the right term. But with Jon Kent, well, who knows? We have seen him in the future with Saturn Girl, so who knows? I do find it maybe kind of funny. Is that the right word? Bendis is normally the one who will make changes to people's personality that ignore or conflict with things other writers are doing. In this case, Tom Taylor has Jon Kent coming out, which conflicts to what Bendis was doing with Saturn Girl. But these fun little games. So what does all this do, or what does all this change? Well, guaranteed there's going to be a lot of people questioning this, outrage, anger, all kinds of things. You're going to get the Fox News segment about Superman being gay and everything else. What is going to be funny, again, I'm just going to have to see the humor in this, is there's going to be these stories of Superman is bisexual or Superman is queer is going to be the headline. Then somebody's going to do a little talking head news segment on it, and they're going to throw up this image of Jon Kent kissing Jay, and then the news anchor, who clearly does not read comics or have any idea what's going on, is then going to have to grapple with, why is Superman look young all of a sudden? And then they're going to have to explain that it's his son. And half of more than half, all the viewers are going to be like, wait a minute, Superman is married? And it's just, which super Clark is just watching people's heads explode as they try and untangle what in the hell any of these people are talking about is going to be absolute comedy. And half of them are going to get it wrong. We're going to say, you're going to see articles like, Clark was once into Lois, but now he's into men. Wait a minute, no, it's his son. It's into Clark's in space. What? I don't know. Maybe it's just early in the morning, and I'm just feeling amused by this kind of chaos in the making. But I don't know. Here we go. It is what it is. I think DC definitely, and Marvel and the big comic companies, they want to push representation. Like many companies, to me, that will do things like change their Twitter avatar to have the pride flag during 1 month out of the year. It feels very performative more than thoughtful. And I'm not talking from Tom Taylor. I agree. Tom Taylor has throughout his career wanted to do these things, and that's fine. But I mean, from the company's perspective, it again, I don't even understand why in the world you would do this so quickly after you're trying to make a statement with Tim Drake and everything else. It feels like very silly planning. It feels like everybody's just off running around doing whatever they want to do, and nobody's coordinating with each other. And maybe we're getting a new Super Sons book with Tim Drake and Jon Kent at some point in a relationship after Jay is revealed to be some kind of evil clone cybernetic robot. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Indeed, I just it's the part that's going to bug me about this is kind of the thoughtfulness of it. In terms of a character, Jon Kent is really almost a blank slate. We know almost nothing about him. We had a kid Jon Kent a few years ago, and then we had an aged up Jon Kent after kid Jon Kent had to live in a mountain volcano for a time on a distant planet, another reality. I mean, definitely people are going to be upset by this. Definitely this is going to generate a lot of outrage. Definitely people within comics are going to be like, I don't understand why anybody was outraged. And we can all enjoy that stupid fun again. But that's the news for the day. Jon Kent, people who claimed he was going to come out as gay or bisexual, they were correct. So good on you for calling it early. And I don't know. What about you guys? Is this, were you collecting this title? I think at the end of the day, maybe that's the big question is, were you even buying this? Are you not going to buy something you're not buying now? Do you care? Or rather, are you going, oh, I had no interest in this title, but now that he's dating Lois Lane's biggest fan, now I'm buying it. But let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, of course, and thanks for listening.